63. Let's jump right into this assignment. First of all, we are going to be graphing linear inequalities on the coordinate plane. And so here we go. Now remember, students, be careful here. We have -3. The first thing we want to do, well, first of all, we notice that we have an x only inequality. Okay, do you notice that? There's no y's. Okay, so we know we're going to have a vertical line for sure. Okay, now having said that, the first thing we want to do is get x by itself. Okay, so divide both sides by a -3, and you know what, students? A lot of students would forget to turn the arrow, but you must turn the arrow when you divide the entire inequality by a negative number. So we have a -5 here, a +15 divided by a -3. Now, we've got x by itself, so now we pretend we have an equal sign here, even though we don't, like this. X equals -5. And so we go to the x-axis at -5, and we draw a vertical line through there. Now, will that vertical line be solid, or will it be dotted? We'll go back over here. We have an equal sign here with our inequality symbol, so it'll be a solid arrow, a solid line. Now, do we shade over here, or do we shade over here? Well, when your line is either vertical or horizontal, you do not need to test a point. Okay? So, it's vertical. X is less than -5. So less than would be over here to the left. And there we go. And this shading here goes on and on forever to the left. Okay? Number 37. Okay? Notice we have a y only inequality. Thus we know we're going to have a horizontal line. Alright? Now, first of all, let's get y by itself. So we'll divide both sides by a -4. Those cancel. Don't forget to turn the arrow. A positive divided by a negative is a negative. 8 divided by 4 is 2. Okay? Now, pretend you have an equal sign here, and you would have y equals -2. So that's a horizontal line going through -2. But before you draw your line, look at your symbol. There's no equal sign here, so it's going to be a dotted line. Always remember, students, to check when you're graphing linear inequalities. Always check to see if your line is going to be dotted or solid. Now, whenever you have a vertical line or a horizontal line, you do not need to test a point. We just look at the problem here. Y is greater than -2. Greater would be up here, so we shade above the line. If it would have said less than, then we would shade below the line. Okay? And this shading, of course, continues on and on upward forever. Okay, 39. Okay, we notice right away we have an x only inequality. Thus, we're going to have a vertical line. Okay? X is all by itself. So let's pretend we have an equal sign, even though we don't. X equals 1/2. So we go to the x-axis at 1/2, and we draw vertical line there. But remember, check to see if your line's going to be dotted or solid. In this case, there's no equal sign here, so it's going to be dotted. So draw a dotted line going right through 1/2 on the x-axis. Here we go. And it says x is less than 1/2. So less than would be to the left of this dotted line. So we're going to shade to the left. Here we go. Number 41. Okay. We have a y only inequality. So we know we're going to have a horizontal line. Let's get y by itself. So divide both sides by 2. And y is greater than 1/2. Okay? Now, let's pretend now that y is by itself. Let's pretend we have an equal sign, even though we don't. So students, I will go to the y-axis, go to 1/2, draw a horizontal line, and notice, students, it will be a dotted line because there's no equal sign here under the inequality, okay? So there's my horizontal line, and notice it says y is greater than 1/2, so I'm going to shade above the dotted line, okay? There we go. Moving on to number 53. Now students, on the next 4 problems, these problems will have x's and y's, okay? So please pay attention on how to graph these, okay? Now first of all, I notice right away I have an x and y, so I'm going to have a slanted line, okay? It will not be horizontal, it will not be vertical. Now the first thing we do is we pretend we have an equal sign even though we don't. Now for me, because I see an x and a y, I'm going to use the double intercept method. I'm going to put a 0 in for x and solve for y. And that will give me a 2 on the y-axis, okay? Then I'm going to substitute 0 in for y. And get 12 on the x-axis, okay? So I'll have to move this over a little bit, get some room. And students, there's my point right there on the x-axis, okay? Now, we're ready to draw our line. It is going to be a solid line, okay? So we can make those 2 points like that. Now remember, guys, if it's a horizontal line or a vertical line, you do not have to test a point. But this is a slanted line, so we do have to test a point, okay? To see whether we're going to shade below or above this line. So my favorite point to test is 0, 0. Now, listen carefully. If the line passed through 0, 0, you cannot use that point. But since the line does not pass through 0, 0, we can use that point. So where x is, I put a 0. Where y is, I put a 0. 6 times 0 is 0. 0 plus 0 is 0. 0 is less than 12. That is true. 0 is less than 12. So we shade where that true point is like this. Alright? So there we go. Moving on to number 55. Okay, students, so moving on. once again, we notice we have an x and a y, so we are going to have a slanted line, okay? First thing you do is rewrite the equation and pretend you have an equal sign. Next, when the x is, I'm going to substitute 0 to use the double intercept method. 2 times 0 is 0. 0 plus y is y. And we get y equals 6. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Now let's substitute 0 in for y. There we go. 2x plus 0 is 2x. Divide both sides by 2, and x equals 3. So we go to the x-axis, put a point on 3. Now, notice, students, there is not an equal sign here, so it will be a dotted line. Connect our 2 points. And then because we do not have a horizontal line or a slanted line, then we will have to test a point, okay? My favorite point to test is 0, 0, so 2 times 0 plus 0 is greater than 6. 2 times 0 is 0. 0 plus 0 is 0. 0 is greater than 6. That is not true. That's false. 0 is not greater than 6. So that's false. We're going to shade where that point is not. Okay? So we're going to shade over here. Alright? Okay, moving on to number 57. Okay, students, right away we notice we have a x and y inequality. So we know we're going to have a slanted line. So let's pretend we have an equal sign, even though we don't. Okay? So when the x is, I'm going to substitute a 0 to find the y-axis. 4 times 0 is 0. 0 plus 3y is 3y. 3y equals 24. Divide by 3. And y equals 8. So that point would be up here. Okay? Now let's substitute 0 in for y and find the x-intercept. Okay? So here we go. 3 times 0 is 0. 4x plus 0 is 4x. Divide both sides by 4, and x equals 6. So right here, okay? We have an equal sign here, so it will be a solid line. There we go. Now, students, it's a slanted line, so we do have to test a point, okay? So, since the line does not pass through 0, 0, that's the point we're going to use. Times 0 is 0, 3 times 0 is 0, 0 plus 0 is 0, 0 is less than 24. That's true, so this point does check. So we're going to shade where that point is. So we're going to shade this way here. Okay? Alright, moving on to our last problem, number 59. Okay, here we go. First thing we notice is that we have a slanted line because we have an x and a y. Okay, so here we go. First of all, let's pretend we have a equal sign here. There we go. Sorry for yawning. Now, when the x is, we'll substitute a 0. 1/4 times 0 is 0 plus 1/2 is 1/2. Now be careful here. Your 1/2s cancel. 1 divided by 1/2 is 2. 1 divided by 1/2 is the same thing as 1 times nu over 1, which is 2. So your y-intercept would be 2. Now let's find your x-intercept by substituting 0 in for y. So 1/4 x plus 1/2 times 0 equals 1. 1/2 times 0 is 0, so we're left with 1/4 x equals 1. Divide both sides by 1/4. These cancel, and x equals 4 because 1 divided by 1/4 is the same thing as 1 times 4 over 1, which is 4. So your x-intercept is 4. There's no equal sign here, so your line will be dotted. There we go. Now your line does not pass through 0, 0, so we can test 0, 0. So 1/2 or 1/4 times 0 plus 1/2 times 0 less than 1. 1/4 times 0 is 0. 1/2 times 0 is 0. 0 plus 0 is 0. 0 is less than 1. That's true. So this point checks. So we shade where this point is. Okay? Now, students, I hope this helps. If you have any question at all, please don't hesitate to contact me.